Quack quack.
Am I accidentally manifesting something that I don't want? Because I can't stop talking about divorce on this channel. The word divorce is probably my most searched word of 2024. Like, it's gonna be on my Spotify Wrapped. Am I trying to live through these stories? Because please, this story sounds like my absolute worst nightmare. But listen, today's case is genuinely so shocking. I think I was up until 1 a.m. scrolling Weibo. This is like Chinese Twitter. I don't speak Chinese, but I was like a dog in heat. I was auto-translating these posts, these juicy, spicy plot developments. My husband woke up at one point and he sees me in the middle of the night. My phone brightness is all the way down, like I'm doing something illegal, like I'm doing something nasty. And he sees me looking like a little rat with my eye bags down to my chin. And he's all, honey, what are you doing right now? And this is what I was doing. So I'm here to tell you about it, even though he pretty much knows this story. But I'm gonna, just, can you act surprised? Can you act like you don't know what's going on? Do you know what's going on?
It's been a while, so
Okay.
I could use a refresher.
Okay, good. Because it starts with a woman named Ma Rong. I'm going to call her Mara. She's in a hospital. We're just going to drop you into it. She's the patient. She's in the hospital bed. She does not look okay. She's got bruises on her face. She's got cuts on her hands. She looks like she's been through some shit. But the vibes are really strange. This does not look like your run-of-the-mill, normal K-drama, white van hit and run situation. First of all, Mara's hospital room is full of news reporters, and Mara is cowering in her hospital bed. She's shaking like a wet Pomeranian puppy, and she's talking to them in this weak, tearful, frail voice. And Mara is telling these reporters that her husband held her hostage and beat her for the past 7 hours. 7 hours. Okay, hold on. If we are laughing throughout this, just wait, okay?
No, I'm not laughing because someone got hurt.
Just you wait. Like, we're gonna be laughing at really inappropriate moments, but it's all gonna make sense at the very end, okay? So anyways, held her hostage and beat her for 7 hours. The reporters, they're foaming at the mouth. I mean, obviously, they're sad for Mara, but they're more happy for themselves. It's sick, it's twisted, but Mara's husband is a huge A-list Chinese actor. This man, he's seasoned. He's been in the industry for the past 25 years, and this woman is in the hospital. They shouldn't be smiling right now. They're trying to keep it serious. The reporters are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened to you. I feel like most of you guys haven't even been alive for 25 years, okay? So for 25 years straight, this man has rarely had any scandals. He has been so beloved. He is an icon. And for almost half that time, he was known as the perfect husband. He was married to Mara for the past 10 years. They've got 2 cute little children together. And recently, they just announced their divorce. And it's about to get really, really, really fucking nasty. Mara is laying in the hospital bed explaining that she went over to her husband's house to see the kids because they'd been living apart. But instead of letting her see her children, Mara said that he and 4 other accomplices kept her in the house and beat her for 7 hours straight. She honestly could have died in there. She's laying there and she's telling the reporters in this weak, tiny little voice, he said he wanted to kill me. The reporters are leaning in, making sure, did we catch that? Did you get this? They're holding their breath. Tell us more, so we can milk this celebrity domestic violence case. Tell us more. No, yeah, it's really messed up. But as they're waiting for this next part, holding their breath, Mara shuts her mouth, looks away, and just stares off blankly into the room. She's done talking. That's it. Nothing more. She's not going to talk to reporters or even doctors anymore. In fact, she's like, I need to be discharged from this hospital. And everyone is like, what the hell is going on? She's like, right now, I need to leave right now. The doctors are staring at each other like, are we even allowed to let her go? If she's been assaulted for the past 7 hours, should she even be allowed to walk at this point? When they bring that up to her, she's like, yeah, okay, fine. No big deal. She ends up covering her head with a white blanket and getting piggybacked out of this hospital. And I'm smiling because what the f is happening right now? I am going to try and describe this footage as best as possible, but it's just so bizarre. I thought I was watching this video on 20 times speed. The man piggybacking her out of the hospital is just speed running through the building, going up the escalators, 2 steps at a time. He's not even grunting. Nobody's really saying anything. In fact, it's weirdly silent. The reporters are just chasing after her in silence. You can literally hear sneakers squeaking on the hospital tile floor. And she's just bobbing side to side because he's running fast while he's piggybacking her, this random man, okay? And she's bobbing side to side in silence.
With the
towel covering her head.
Yeah.
Because she's like, no pictures, no reporters, no comment, please. Until they get to the parking lot. And then she's thrown into a Maserati and whisked away. They just drive out of that hospital. The craziest part about this story, though, is you would think that this story is about Mara's husband who's going to get canceled, right? Thrown into prison, charge and handcuff that man, wipe him off the internet, black box on his face in shows and movies. The man who was accused of domestic abuse, you would think that he's going to get canceled, right? But instead, Mara gets canceled. The story is so crazy. There are 7,000 plot twists. There's $7 million on the line. There's voodoo dolls and a cuck chair involved. You heard me. I'm not going to repeat a cuck chair. I repeated myself. It's wild. But before I spill all the tea, I just have to say that my shoes have been ruined. We have been spilling so much tea. All my floors are wet and most of my sneakers are ruined. They can't take all the moisture, the wetness, the juice. But you know what can handle it? My Vessies. You need to listen up right now because Vessies are the only shoes that will keep your feet dry after all of the tea we're about to spill. I can't think of anything worse than the feeling of moist socks trapped inside of your moist shoe, and you gotta walk another mile, right? You're a mile away from your house, and you know what I'm talking about. You finally get on your morning walk because you're like, I should be healthy, right? It's like half the year. I should do my New Year's resolution that I set like 6 months ago. There's mildew everywhere. You step on grass once, your sock is wet. And you're leaving a snail trail. It's disgusting. So now I gotta walk my whole mile in the damp, sluggy sock prison and my day is ruined. That sensory experience, I never want to repeat it. I'm very passionate about this, okay? I'm very passionate about having dry feet. They're specifically made for when Mother Nature does not take her meds. So it's sunny in the morning, raining in the afternoon. That's like me every single day having a mental breakdown. Vessi Stormburst low top sneakers are waterproof, made from vegan materials, but they're also super cute and versatile. You can wear them to go jogging, on a hike, or even for a more casual night out. I can literally spend all day in these sneakers. Whether I'm running errands, seeing family, going to a movie, they're genuinely just so comfortable to wear all day. It doesn't even feel like I'm wearing shoes. If I knew my Korean mom would not disown me, I might even wear them inside the house. Both the Stormburst low top and the weekend sneakers are vegan with removable inseams and breathable but waterproof materials. They're just perfect for any summer occasion. So elevate your summer activities with Vessi Stormburst and weekend shoes. Discover more at vessi.com/bis and get your pair today to get an automatic 15% off your first purchase at checkout and be ready to stay cool and stay dry. And thank you, Vessi, for sponsoring today's video. And let me tell you about the story that destroyed most of my shoes. We are talking about one of the biggest actors in China today. I believe he's a huge household name. His name is Wang Baochang.
Wang Baochang.
Wang Baochang. I'm going to call him Wang. And you're going to see why. No, you know what? I'm going to call him Will because he's got that willpower. And also, some people compared him to Will Smith. You're going to see in a second. You're going to see in a fucking second, okay? But I digress. Will has been acting for over 25 years. And I can't even compare him to an American actor, even though I just said Will Smith. Just like, hold on, because it wouldn't do it justice.
So he's not cute. He's not cute. That just to show how good of an actor he is.
Yeah, I would say he's not conventionally attractive.
Yeah, he's not cute.
Okay,
but
well,
he's a good actor. That's he is all about skills.
Yes, he's about his talent.
Yes.
Will's been in the industry for so long that a whole generation of people literally grew up with this man. I mean, maybe even 2 generations. So you just had to be there. It's not just about his movie roles or his success. There is this layer of nostalgia with Will. Millions of people are emotionally invested in this man and his whole career. But one of the things that people love most about Will is just how humble he is. A lot of the times, these male actors who are on top of their game, they're really cocky, especially if they've been in the game for 25 years. They're going to be out here trying to grab podcast mics and give advice on how to live life. Exactly like this channel. Someone take this mic away from me at this point. Anyway, a lot of really famous male celebrities think they're the shit. They think they're way too good to settle down. They would rather date girls who are literally 30% of their age. But Will is not like that. He actually never dated anyone until he met his wife, Mara. And Mara's not even a celebrity. She was this humble girl from a middle-class background. Honestly, a nobody. This is a fanfic level love story here. They met during one of Will's interviews back when he was just an up-and-coming author. And it just seemed like such a cute, wholesome relationship. They would be married for 10 years, which is a lot for a celebrity couple. I feel like that's 9 years longer than most celebrity couples. I mean, some of these celebrities be married for like 120 days. I'm making sure that we've been married for longer than that. Will and Mara initially seem wholesome, but after a while, netizens start noticing some weird vibes. They start doing what they do. They start picking apart these tiny little things in their relationship and guessing, now, what do we think that means? What do we think, you guys? So, for example, you would think this is an A-list actor, married for 10 years, would probably have a ton of videos with his wife at red carpets, at premieres, or what have you. But there's almost no photos of the couple together. Which, okay, fine. Maybe they're a very private couple. Maybe Mara doesn't like the spotlight because she's not even a celebrity to begin with, right? But the only photos of Will and Mara that you can find on the internet are weird. They're weird. I don't want to judge, but I would never leave the house if this was a photo of us on the internet. Like, the pictures are slightly creepy, is what netizens thought. They are photos from the 2018 Cannes Film Festival, which is the biggest event in the movie industry in the entire world. Period. It happens every year in France. I think it recently just happened, but it's an international film festival, which means they play movies from all over the world. The biggest celebrities from like 20 different countries are all gonna be there. It's one of those events where you can't even just show up. You have to be invited. And Will is famous enough to be invited. He's there with his wife, Mara, which is really rare to see Will in public events with his wife. But it seems like it seems like they should be having fun, right? There are some fun photos of them while Will is on his knee and is showing off his wife like he's a fucking parenthesis. It's kind of giving that iconic Will Smith and Jada red carpet photo. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's why we're calling him Will. And just like Will and Jada, I think Will and Mara really need a couples counselor because what you see is not what you get. At first it was just, oh, the photos are slightly cringe. Okay, they're slightly weird. It's a little awkward, but like maybe it's cute. It's like when your parents post couples pics on Facebook. It's so cringe, it's so awkward that it's adorable, that they're so much in love. But the netizens, they start commenting about Mara's body language. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. On all the photos, Will looks genuinely happy. He's got this big old smile on his face and his body language is relaxed and he's just holding his wife. He looks like he's having the best day of his fucking life. He looks happy to just be there. But Mara, she looks like she's got a sniper pointed at her the entire time and she's got to pretend like everything is normal. Listen, maybe it's her first red carpet, okay? Maybe she's a little awkward. She's probably just not had a lot of media training. But no matter how you want to look at it, the pictures are weird. Netizens point out these photos where Will is kissing Mara on the red carpet. These photos make me really uncomfortable. Like, you can just tell how Mara is uncomfortable even through the camera. Her body language is so stiff, it's giving rigor mortis. She almost looks like she's, she's looking up because she's so uncomfortable. It doesn't look like a photo of a loving husband having a moment with his loving wife. It almost looks like a random man ran up to Mara, grabbed her, forced her to kiss him. Honestly, she kind of looks like a mannequin and he's trying to kiss one at like this old American Eagle store. The whole thing is unsettling. Will's hand is even holding her head in place so that she cannot move. And hindsight is everything because later that same year, Mara will accuse Will of beating her within an inch of her life for 7 hours straight. She would also make a series of Weibo posts accusing Will of being an abusive husband, being physically and emotionally abusive, and she would say that he used their kids as pawns to stop her from divorcing him. And it seemed like Will was just a really shitty fucking husband. And these pictures are just additional proof of how uncomfortable he made her. Look at how scared she she is to even be around this man, how unsafe she felt to be touched by this man. But if it were that easy, we wouldn't be here. Netizens start digging through Mara's Weibo history. Bestie was busy on her Weibo. Mara was posting on Weibo like she was the celebrity, which is a very normal thing to do, honestly. Like, slay, show us your breakfast, okay? But some people were like, how are you posting every week and then saying that you don't like the spotlight? You know, it's like a little weird. But anyway, it is important to note that this is Mara's personal Weibo account. You would imagine this is where she would post photos of herself, her family, and her husband. There is not a single photo of Mara and Will alone together. Every photo of Mara that Will is in, there is always at least one other person in the photo. And Mara is always angled away from Will and towards this other person that happens to be in almost a majority of the photos. And body language experts, green line experts be going fucking crazy right now. Minds be blown. If you had no idea that they were married, you would have no idea that they were married. But there are some family photos where you can see that Will and Mara and their 2 kids, they got a son and a daughter together. This is the weirdest part, and I swear, these Chinese netizens are part-time FBI agents because they can dig up anything. They're looking up marriage certificates and birth records, naturally, as one does on their off days. But they discovered that there was something so odd about Will and Mara's family. The timeline's not adding up. Will and Mara got married in 2009, but they got married in this small private ceremony, and Will didn't even mention his marriage publicly until 2011. Which, okay, celebrities get married in private all the time, right? What's the problem? But the math is not mathing. Will and Mara have 2 kids, a son and a daughter, in that order, right? But here's the thing. Their son was born just 2 months after their wedding date. They got married in December. Their son was born in February. So netizens are doing the math and it's not adding up. No matter how much lube you squeeze in there, you cannot fit 9 months between December and February. So the theory is Mara was serving up some raw pork, raw shrimp, 7 days a week. Gordon Ramsay's never seen it that raw. She baby trapped him.
Whoa.
That's what netizens believe. Don't shoot the messenger. This is what the netizens are saying. This is the theory and the vibes that the netizens have come up with. So the theory is that she baby trapped him because he's rich and he's famous, right? No, the theory is a lot crazier because let me tell you, netizens start analyzing every single pixel in Mara's Weibo photos, one metadata at a time. And at one point, they realize something is weird about Will and his son. Netizens look at Will, then they look at his son, then they look at Will, then they look at their son, and they realize, you know what?
You are not the father.
Exactly. But you know who does look like the father? Someone else on Mara's Weibo. Netizens figure out that everything about Will and Mara's marriage was sus from day one. On the outside, they're giving white picket fence. On the inside, they're giving crusty crabs. Will and Mara met in 2007. Will was already in the acting industry for 10 years at this point, but he just had his breakout role. So he's an up-and-coming actor. And you know how some celebrities are so famous, they don't need to promote themselves? Like Jenny doesn't need to promote herself. She is the promotion. Yeah, that's not Will at the time. Like he for sure needed some clout. So his agency books him for an interview. And you know those interviews where the whole point is for the celebrity to look more relatable? They go in there, they share a heartbreaking story about how they too had a hamster that died when they were a kid. See, you guys, they're just like one of us, right? That's what I imagine Will's interview was supposed to be, but we'll never know because it was a radio interview and it's giving boomer energy, but just like, bear with me, hold on to your tits. Will gets this radio interview with the Beijing news station, which is a pretty big deal. And I guess, I guess they thought, hey, we're a pretty big deal and Will is still a baby actor, so we don't really need to be doing a lot. Like, we don't need to be doing all of this for him. And this is kind of vile, but they thought, he's not that famous. Let's just, instead of using one of our actual hosts to interview him, get the fucking intern to do it. They're like, hey, intern, interview this guy. And that intern was Mara. That is how they met. That is their origin story. Mara interviewed Will, and they just kept talking, even after they cut the, I was going to say cameras, but I guess they cut the, I don't know, satellite line.
They cut the radiation.
They cut the radiation. Like, I have no idea what they talked about, but it said that they were inseparable from day one.
一见钟情.
Will seemed like he was whipped cream to her pumpkin pie, whipped his cream, because the timeline isn't adding up, is what people said. It said that he would spoil Mara, send her flowers, luxury gifts. He would spend a lot of time just trying to woo Mara over. He would take her to the park and have her watch him practice kung fu. Which is like kind of a weird date. But he's really good at kung fu. It's the whole thing, which is fun, right? Once they get married though, that's when things get weird. And I'm not talking about open toilet seats and farting under the blanket weird. That's like the standard marital package. But we're in the Chinaverse. Usually when you get married, you live together and you see each other all the time. Okay, fine. There's like once in a while, you got long distance because of work, okay? I'm not talking about these couples. I'm talking about a lot of the times. You get married, you live together, and you see each other a lot, sometimes too much, and you're like, Jesus Christ, when did you move in here? But after Will and Mara got married, they basically stopped seeing each other. What? Will almost never publicly talks about Mara after that. It said that they would barely even see each other at home. But I guess that kind of makes sense since Will is really busy. He's always on a movie set or a reality show or directing his own movies. I mean, he's eating it up. Don't get me wrong. The bread is baking. Will's bought at least 9 different real estate properties. He may not have time to be in any of those 9 homes, but he still gave his family a lot of stability. Mara wouldn't have to work a day in her life if she didn't want to, but it seems like she liked to keep herself busy because she does get a job. She works as a legal rep for Will's production company. Are you catching what I'm throwing down right now? They technically work together, but they barely see each other. So it's not like they both have these insane careers and busy work schedules and they don't see each other. They work together. What do you mean? And on the days when Will actually has time to come home, which is like once a month, he still would not see his wife because whenever he was home, she wasn't home. I mean, I get that they both have schedules, but it's like they're avoiding each other or something. I think to not see each other this often takes even more scheduling and coordination. But one day, one innocent virgin day in 2019, their whole marriage blows up in the most insane public divorce scandal, and it all happens because of a thumbprint. This is what happened, according to Will himself. He said this happened on one of the rare occasions he was actually home. Mara wasn't home that day, of course, so Will is just spending time with the kids. They're watching TV, relaxing. It's a chill day when Will hears a phone ringing. It's immediately weird because Will doesn't recognize this ringtone, so this is not his phone. Naturally, he assumes, my wife forgot her phone in the house. It's not that weird, but he doesn't recognize that ringtone either. I mean, but like she could have changed it. It's not like he's seen her recently. He tries to ignore it, but the phone just keeps ringing and ringing and ringing. And now they can't even listen to Baby Shark in peace. Like, sing me Baby Shark in Chinese.
宝贝鲨鱼.
What the Okay, I can't do this right now. I literally can't do this right now. Why does it just sound like Baby Shark in a Chinese accent?
宝贝鲨鱼.
You're literally saying Baby Shark. So Will is thinking, what if someone is calling her because there's a family emergency or something? I gotta stop smiling, but you'll know why I'm smiling later because it's just bizarre. Why else would they keep calling? He says that is the only reason he gets up and finds Mara's phone. But this is where the details kind of get fuzzy because Will never explains why he still chose to dig through Mara's phone, even though it stopped ringing by the time he picked it up. But honestly, I don't know if I blame him. I'd be digging sometimes for no reason. Let me dig in peace. I don't know if he had a feeling. Maybe there was something on the lock screen, or maybe he was just curious. Or sometimes, even if you trust your partner, the inner demons, they're like, do it. Check his phone. Do it right now. And then you do it, okay? Anyway, Will's holding Mara's phone and the demons take over. It's like his hand has a mind of his own. He needs to snoop. He doesn't know Mara's password. So, okay, this is where I'm like, okay, weird. But be so fucking for real right now. Will, he calls his daughter over and I guess he asks her, hey kiddo, you know your mommy's password? Bitch. Not only did Mara tell her 6-year-old child her password, but she gave her thumbprint access. Trusting a 6-year-old with thumbprint access to your phone is another level of trust. That's like trusting Sophie with the nuclear codes. No, thank you. I don't even trust my niece to not wipe her pizza dust fingers on our chairs. Like if I could trust Sophie the way that Mara trusted her 6-year-old, I don't know. I feel like the world would be a better place. But Mara's 6-year-old unlocks her phone with a thumbprint. She's looking at her dad like, are you dumb? And she opens a Pandora's box of the nastiest laundry I've ever seen. Mara's least favorite house chores must be the laundry because the amount of crust inside this phone is unhinged. Which, by the way, it's obvious that this is not a regular phone. The only app installed is the messaging app, and there are almost no phone numbers in the contact list. What does that smell like to you? Does it smell burnt?
It's a burner phone.
Exactly. This is a
Is that a burner phone?
Yeah.
Oh, it is called burner phone? Like cheater's phone?
I don't know.
Burner phone is like you throw it away.
Yeah. I mean, you don't think the cheaters would be throwing it away? Well, I guess Mara did it. This is a burner phone. Mara has a secret cell phone that has one specific purpose, and Will is about to find out why his wife is never home. Okay. If you're snooping on your wife's phone, what is the first app that you're opening?
It's not the text. It's gotta be... No, not the DMs either. It's gotta be Yelp or something.
Yelp? Wait, what? Someone's just having an affair through Yelp.
Maybe like
in the reviews?
In the reviews, yeah.
They're like leaving signals in the reviews.
Yes.
Bro, that's crazy. It's WeChat, baby. Because who is she chatting? Who we be chatting? Will opens up WeChat and the first thing he sees is not a text message. It's a photo. It is this photo right here. It is a slight jump scare, honestly. If I were Will, I don't know if I would even feel threatened by this photo. I'd be like, what a mugshot. What is going on right now? But I know what you're thinking. Whoever this man is not Will. And also this man needs to sue his hairdresser and then use the money from the lawsuit to buy eye brightening serum. The way he's staring into my soul makes me uncomfortable. Why does he look 14 and going through puberty and 50 and exhausted all at the same time? But I'm sure Will was even more uncomfortable because Will knows this man. This man is Will's employee. It's his acting agent. As in, this is the guy responsible for Will's schedule and the direction of his entire career. Why the hell is Will's acting agent in Will's wife's DMs? Listen.
It's basically the guy who he works with the most.
Yeah.
Like he sees every day or
that he
talks to.
Booking everything for.
Yeah.
Listen, you see this shit? You know it's not going to end well. But in case you need to be convinced, this is the text under the photo. So Will's agent sends this photo to Mara on WeChat. His name is Song, Agent Song. That's literally his name. Song sends his photo where he looks like he could use 40 hours of sleep. And Mara responds, "You look old." Which is, you know, that's how some girls be flirting, okay? If she just ended it there, I feel like we wouldn't even be talking about it. But Mara sends another message. "Not seeing me is aging you."
Ooh.
And you're not ready for Song's response. "My dick didn't get old. It's still big and works well."
Whoa.
Wow! I can't imagine a man texting something like that and me feeling anything other than pure ick.
Bro, who talks like that?
Don't even go there right now. I'm about to expose you.
Me? What?
Hold on. The other day, there was a curtain in the bathroom and the curtain gets stuck. Okay, I'm there. I'm kind of butt naked, so I can't go downstairs and get something to unstuck the curtain, but I need to unstuck the curtain, and I can't just yank it because then it's going to come off the curtain hooks. So I text him, "Hey, can you bring me something?"
Oh my god, stop it. Stop it right now. Stop this.
I texted him, "Can you bring something long up?" And he runs into the bathroom and he goes, "I'm here."
Stop it right now. Oh my god, dude.
Okay.
But I was trying to be cute. I wasn't trying to be cringy.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to be sexy.
No, I wasn't.
Because he also brought up a broomstick. Okay, he was like, "But just in case, I got you." Okay. There's no way any girl would read that and be like, "That is so hot. I can't wait to see this man again." I would change my identity. I would buy a new one off the black market and I would run away. But apparently, Mara was into it because her burner phone is one giant log of the most inhumane text I have ever read in my life. And you will read it with me because we have screenshots. I think Will took the screenshots, but I'm not sure. Either way, it's vile. Here's one example. Mara says, "What are you doing? I miss you." "I'm thinking about you, my wife. I want to be with you tonight. You always miss me when we're apart. I miss you so much." Not him calling her his wife. Okay, I'm so disturbed. Another conversation reads, "Brother." She's referring to Song, so I imagine this is like oppa energy, right? Oppa.
Yeah.
"I'm too tired." She's thirsty, and he's saying, "I can't do this right now," basically. Mara's like, if you're not going to accompany me, then it's fine. I'll just go find someone else then.
Like she's gonna go sleep with someone else?
Yeah. And Song is all,
Wow.
Will's going to come home soon. We should give this a break. Can you stop mentioning that stupid Will? My heart is only for you. Don't worry.
Wow.
If Will finds out, then we'll leave. I want to be with you forever. Don't worry. We will. I'll see you later. Why? To get fucked again? Emoji. Listen, I don't know how Will kept scrolling through these messages because I would immediately call a lawyer, give them this phone, and then tell them, use it for my defense in a double homicide trial, BRB. BRB. But I digress. At this point, Will stops scrolling to his doom. His finger can't stop, won't stop, okay? And at some point, he picks up his own phone and he calls his wife. Mara is still out and about, okay? Doing God knows what. When Will dials her main phone, the one she uses to talk to the man she's married to, basically her work phone at this point, he's calling her to ask how long it's been since she first stepped out onto the street. He's calling her to ask, Rue, when was this? No, but for real, okay? He's just calling her to ask her to come home and talk. I think he was still kind of hoping there would be a rational explanation. Maybe it's an April Fool's prank. Question mark, please. Mara picks up her phone and Will asks her to come home. He doesn't say why, but it's probably obvious in Will's tone of voice that something is very wrong because Mara's whole personality changes in 0.2 seconds. When she picks up, she sounded happy, normal, glad to talk to Will. And as soon as he asks her to talk, it's like she makes a split-second decision. There's no point in acting anymore. Mara straight up tells Will that she's not coming home. And she threatens him that he needs to behave. Otherwise, she's going to ruin him. And then she hangs up.
Dude, the audacity.
What the fork is going on right now? Imagine reading those nasty text messages and your wife is just like, and what? I would do it again. Stay in line, kiddo. Will's stomach drops off the face of the earth and he starts panic dialing Mara and her parents and every other person in her family. And not only is Mara ignoring his calls, but her whole family just ghosts him in the span of 3 minutes. Even Will's agent is not responding. And I don't know if Will had any doubts left at this point, but if he did, they're gone after he opens his bank account. Will's bank account was drained. Emptied out like my husband on a Saturday night. Will's only got $14,000 left, which I know sounds like a lot, but Will had millions. He has 9 real estate properties that he just realized are all in Mara's name. Even his production company, his life's work, 90% of that company is in Mara's name because Will trusted Mara with his life. Everything he's ever made, every cent, he gave it to Mara, and now it's all gone. Will knows he's cooked. I mean, he literally can't do anything about this situation. He doesn't even have money to get a divorce attorney. Side note, did you know the average divorce in the U.S. costs between $15,000 to $20,000? Will's got a good $14K in his bank account. Mara's got his millions. Anyway, yeah, Will can't even beat Mara in court, especially because now she's got millions of dollars in her pockets, and at this point, all he's got left is his reputation. But when Will opens up Weibo, he sees a new ocean of hate in his notifications. There's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who hate his guts right now, and he doesn't know why. Because Mara was busy. She got to work. There's no time to rest. By the time Will opens Weibo, she had already made a whole post where she has accused Will of being an abusive husband. I can't find her original post, so I think she probably deleted it. But in the post, Mara was basically saying that Will was physically abusive and that she's been trying to leave him for years, but he has been using their kids to manipulate her into staying with him. And listen, at this point, we don't know who's lying. Because yeah, Mara was cheating on Will with his agent, but that doesn't mean that Will wasn't abusive. I mean, it's not mutually exclusive. Maybe she was cheating because he was abusive. We still don't know. Neither side really has any proof of anything. So it's Mara's word against Will's. And Mara even accuses Will of tax evasion, which sounds small compared to abuse allegations, but the Chinese government does not play with tax evasion.
You're erased.
Erased. Just Mara making the accusation was enough for the Chinese government to completely shut down Will's production company because now they need to conduct an investigation. So now Will doesn't have an income. He does the only thing he can do, which is also make a public statement on Weibo. Since marrying Mara in 2009, I have always upheld the vows of marriage, loving each other, treating each other with honesty, and being loyal to our marriage. He goes on to say that he's always been focused on being an honest person in his personal and work life, but his wife has betrayed him in the worst way possible. He says, however, I cannot tolerate malicious betrayal of marriage and destruction of the family. Now, due to Mara's extramarital improper relationship with my agent Song, which has seriously harmed our marriage and destroyed our family, I solemnly decide to dissolve my marriage with Mara and simultaneously terminate Song's role as my agent. Then he asks the public to give him some time and privacy with his family, with his 2 children, and he will be back. He says, I will continue to stay true to my original aspirations, love my family even more, and work hard. Basically, Will is announcing that he's getting a divorce, and it's pretty PR for the most part. The wildest part, though, is when he name drops his agent, and he's like, I'm divorcing my wife because she's buttering Agent Song. Man just casually slipped that in there. But the thing is, nobody believes Will at this point. I mean, why would a woman lie about something like this? And Will's got no proof that he's innocent. His whole fan base is turning against him. Netizens even doubt that Mara stole his money. And Will can't prove it. What is he supposed to do? Show the internet his bank account? So it's obviously a very stressful situation for Will. And he wants to distance himself a bit. He wants to take a step back. So he lets his cousin manage his Weibo. So he doesn't want to look at it every day and see all these hate comments. But what Will doesn't know is that even his cousin is on Mara's side. The cousin is a spy for Mara. So she was telling the cousin what to post, how to respond to comments to make Will look even worse online. She was literally controlling Will's life even after they separated because she's been doing this for years. If karma's a bitch, hindsight is her big sister. And suddenly Will is just getting hit with these life-shattering realizations. He didn't notice it until now, but now that he thinks about it, and he really thinks about it, ever since he hired his agent, Song, the man that's been turkey basting his wife, Will's schedule has been weird. You know, his forte is movies, right? But ever since Will hired Agent Song, he wasn't even acting in movies anymore. Song had Will doing all these random ass reality shows instead of, I don't know, taking on roles that are actually going to further his career. One time, Will got a call from an old friend who's a movie director. Let's call him Chris. So Chris is, catching up with Will on the phone, and he brings up the movie that Will was supposed to star in, and he's joking around. And he's also curious, like, why'd you turn down the movie? What? What are you talking about? I don't even... Yeah, okay, funny, right? The movie in question made like $100 million in theaters. It was a massive hit. Will had no idea Chris wanted him to be the lead in the movie. That would have catapulted his career to the next level. What's crazy is this didn't just happen once. It happened multiple times. But every time, Will just kind of brushed it off as a misunderstanding. Maybe somebody missed an email. It happens. But now Will is sitting there connecting the dots. The stars are not looking good right now. He's remembering when Mara talked him into quitting a project he was actually passionate about so he could go do this random ass reality show. And it's not like Will is passionate about these reality shows. I mean, one of them was so rough. It was 5 seasons of hard physical labor, like physical 100, but in a literal military setting. Will broke his leg to be on that show. And for what? At the time, it didn't make any sense why Mara was asking Will to be on this reality show. He just thought that she had a different marketing strategy for his career. He didn't question it. But now, now it's starting to make sense, okay? Song and Mara weren't just trying to control his career. Song was overbooking Will's schedule so that he could bonk his wife in private. Apparently, their favorite place to butter the croissant was Will's LA beach house, which is so wrong because the money Will was making off these reality shows pays the mortgage. And by the way, one of these reality shows that Will was in had him fighting in literal trenches, shooting real functioning bazookas. I'm so serious right now.
Wait, you think they'd be like bunking and watching the show at the same time?
They'd be giggling. Like,
bro, that's so messed up.
So fucked up. Oh no.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
I'm so serious though. The show is called Takes a Real Man. Don't even get me started on that title. It's basically a group of celebrity dudes going through a military boot camp with real weapons for some reason. Like, they give these people actual bazookas. It was supposed to be a serious military show. The target audience were bros who like drinking beer and playing football. But the real audience is me, because Will carried that whole show on his back. No, really, he was single-handedly holding up the rating of the show. He's the reason that they went on to have 5 whole seasons. I mean, Will is just so naturally funny. He's one of those people, you don't even know why you're laughing because he's not making a joke.
Okay, so Will is we call it like honest man. He looks like just such a nice dude. He has an honest face. You just can't think he's a bad guy. He can play a bad guy. So anything he does is like really wholesome and cute.
And he's cute.
Yeah.
There's one scene where Will and all the other soldiers are lined up for roll call. And after roll call, the commander starts asking them questions. So he turns to Will. Will, sir, when is your wife's birthday? 1988, whole 8, whole 8.
王宝强，到，你老婆哪天生日？要狗爸爸，动爸动爸。
The commander looks around like he's trying to figure out what in the math algorithm Will just said. And the commander goes, someone please translate. And another guy goes, he meant to say 1988, August 8th. Is that right, Will? No.
A whole 8?
Yes.
Kind of like a military, because they don't say 0 as 0. They say like a whole, like 动。
动爸动爸。
So he said it really awkwardly. So the military man was like, why don't you just say August 8th? Like,
yeah.
Why are you like, he's reading out the number.
Yes.
Instead of saying August 8th.
And then so he's like, okay, are you trying to say August 8th, 1988? And all the other soldiers turn to look at Will like, is this man fucking for real right now? And one of the soldiers goes, his wife's birthday is 1986. And Will looks mortified. He looks like if he had 3 wishes, 2 of them would be to disappear, and the third one would be to erase his life resume from history. And the commander goes, Will, you don't even remember your wife's birthday? How are you going to go home? I can no longer go home. Please don't air this.
别播，回不了家，别播，都别播。
And he's so serious. He's looking at the cameraman. Now, there another time, Will was confused about a different set of numbers. The soldiers are lined up again, all in their uniforms, and Will has this super serious expression on his face. Commander goes, Will, sir, how tall are you? Will looks like he's concentrating super hard, and the words come out of his mouth like little farts. 1, 6, 咚咚.
Ho. 0 basically.
1 6，动动。
You're 16 meters tall? For my fellow Americans, that's 52 feet. Will is trying to say 5'2", but he says 52 feet. And when the commander repeats his answer back to him, Will looks confused. He focuses really hard, and then he tries again. 1, 6, dong. There's a moment of silence. The commander's just staring at Will. Will drops his crutches because he broke his leg on this show, drops them down, drops to the ground, and starts aggressively doing push-ups on a broken leg because he doesn't even need to wait to know that he done goofed. Apparently, when you answer a question wrong, you gotta do push-ups as punishment. So Will, he's like, I already fucking know. Let me get on the ground right now. He starts doing push-ups and everybody is fucking trying to cackle. But the commander goes, no, you're right. You're just short. Which, like, what? Honestly, we love a short king. And, like, emphasis on king because remember how I mentioned bazookas? It's bazooka time. They give these completely untrained celebrities real working bazookas and told them to shoot targets. Like, who signed off the insurance for this show? I need to talk to their underwriter. Will is trying to figure out how the fuck you're supposed to target practice with a bazooka, but the commander keeps rushing him. We need to be fast. If you're not fast enough, you'll be defeated by your enemies and not the other way around. So Will starts panicking and whispering to the person that's helping him set up the bazooka because he needs to like set up the stand. He's like, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower, lower, higher, lower, lower. He literally starts laughing and the commander is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, well, I can't see the target. That's why. And the commander is like, because it's too damn high, it's blocking your view of the target. So he finally sets up the bazooka on his shoulder and the commander signals that Will should fire the real bazooka, this 18-pound weapon of destruction that Will is carrying on his shoulder. But instead of firing it, Will very seriously, with the most dead-ass expression on his face, goes, shoot! Do.
发射，shoot！
He literally makes a sound effect of a bazooka firing with his own mouth instead of firing the fucking bazooka. Keep in mind, he never actually fires the bazooka. He just went, do. Everyone on the show goes silent because what the fuck The commander is gobsmacked. Will, I did ask you to add sound effects. Will looks a little embarrassed, but then the commander changes his mind. Actually, do that 10 more times. Will looks so confused, so he just says in the most confused, tiny little voice, I thought you said no sound effects. I'm asking you to do sound effects now. So Will does as he's told. He goes, shoot, do. Shoot, do. It's so comical.
发射，10遍，发射，发射，发射，发射，发射，发射，发射，发射，发射。
His squad mates are on the ground, just dying laughing. And then he's asked if the bazooka's too heavy. Not heavy, sir. Not heavy? A little heavy. The ammo in the back. It's the ammo.
重不重？不重，不真重。这后边的弹太重了，后边的弹。
Another notable iconic moment includes Will busting out kung fu moves for no reason in the middle of a strict military drill in the desert. I don't even know. Like, he's just doing backflips. Okay? But Will's back can only carry so much. He's a strong, short king, and he can only carry so many episodes before he breaks a bone. He breaks a bone in a fighting scene. He breaks his leg, and it's really sad. And even when he breaks his leg, they take him to the hospital, and, I mean, he broke his thigh bone, which I'm assuming is painful. That's actually one of the most strong bones in your body, is your thigh bone, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? But he's just out there dropping some silly, goofy jokes. He's like, guess they'll just have to cut it off. That's him. Like with a broken thigh bone. Thankfully, they did not have to cut it off, but Will did go to the hospital. And at the hospital, at his bedside, is his loving wife, Mara, looking genuinely concerned for her husband, which is completely normal, right? To have a reaction like that to your husband breaking his leg. Except she just got back from LA. Yeah, she had a whole different bone in her in LA. So while Will is breaking bones for 5 seasons to pay off his mortgage in LA, Mara's still getting clapped in Will's house. But what makes this situation 10 times worse is how hard Will worked to afford that house. Will just came from a village. Like, he was not born from a wealthy family. He's not a Nepo baby. He was born in a village in a Chinese rural side, mountainside, in the 80s. Growing up, Will wanted to become an actor, which is not really a respected future career dream for a village like that. His first time seeing a movie was in a local open-air theater because they didn't have movie theaters.
It's not theater. It's just piece of cloth hanging in the air with a projector.
And he's like, I'm gonna be the next Jackie Chan, okay? So he starts learning Kung Fu. It's crazy. He's doing moves on all sides of the gravitational pull, probably doing some shit my anatomy cannot even comprehend. It's called Shaolin.
Shaolin.
Yeah.
Shaolin is
The temple.
monks.
He would train with the monks. Train Kung Fu with the monks. This sounds like straight out of a movie.
Yeah, sometimes also it's like a lot of these families, when they don't have money, you just become a monk so you can feed yourself, basically. They provide food and living.
Yeah, and then at the end of 6 years of intense training, Will was ripped, jacked. He's just doing the most. He moves to Beijing by himself. And besides Kung Fu, Will's biggest dream is still to be an actor. He wants to be like Jackie Chan, which is crazy because he's dedicated 8 freaking years to Kung Fu. And now he's going to be an actor. But shit's getting real. I mean, he's moving from this very peaceful mountainside from the temples. And now he's just on the streets of Beijing. He tells his family they give him their whole life savings, which was about $70. Will moves to Beijing on his own. He doesn't even have a place to stay. He doesn't even have family or friends there, just $70, hopes and dreams. He's able to find a basement room for rent, and it was the cheapest place he could find. Every morning, he'd be up at 4 a.m. He would run to the nearest film studio and just stand outside the studio hall until someone hired him. He would take any role. He'd be an extra, a stunt double. He would work all day for $2 a day. And just to show you how bad it was, one time he gets called to a casting call. And this wasn't even an audition, just the preliminary interview before the real audition. Will barely gets a few words in, and the casting agent stops him. He looks him up and down, scrunches his nose, and goes, "With your looks and your terrible Mandarin, you want to be an actor?" And in front of Will's eyes, the casting agent squashes his resume and dumps it in the trash can. Will doesn't know what to do, so he hesitates for a few seconds, and then he runs over, bends down, and grabs digs through the trash to grab his resume in front of a room full of agents and other actors. He has to pull out his resume and uncrease it because he can't afford to print another one. The industry was looking for that cookie cutter, conventionally attractive and soft-spoken. But Will had kung fu skills, a bad haircut, and some dreams. So for years, he just keeps pushing into more auditions, even when his friends are laughing at him. And then one day, he finally gets called into the lead role of this movie called Blind Shaft, which is a little unfortunately named, but it sounds like it's supposed to be a wholesome coming-of-age story that inspires people to not reuse that sock. I don't know, okay? But like, just to...
It's a good movie.
Apparently, it's a really good movie. It was shot 700 feet deep in the actual coal mines. And Will's lead role was playing this young boy who becomes the target of a group of men that want to murder him for money.
So, okay, do you want to know the premise?
Sure.
She's like, no. So it's a group of these undermined workers. Their whole thing was grab a random little kid from the street, bring them to work at the coal mine with them, telling them that this is my nephew.
And then when they die, you get money?
Yes. So they will kill these kids in the mine and then go for the insurance money from these mine people. Wang Baoqiang is the next kid that they recruited as their little nephew. And Wang Baoqiang just was so nice to them. He's like, you guys are saving me, giving me an opportunity. So he will go buy food for them, treat them so well. And then one of the killers starting to treat Wang Baoqiang like a real nephew because Wang Baoqiang was so freaking kind. And then the other one wants to kill Wang Baoqiang for insurance money. So the ending was the two actually killed each other in the mine. And Wang Baoqiang walked out alive. And his role is always this type of like very innocent village boy role.
And he ate it up apparently.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He was professional. He was good under pressure. I mean, like I said, it's 700 feet deep in a real coal mine. Mm-hmm. So he's like living that life. I mean, not really, but you get it. It's the environment is rough. It's not like a set and then you walk off and you're in Hollywood, right? He carried the whole movie. He was only 19. The movie won him the title of Best New Actor at the Golden Horse Awards. That is equivalent to winning an Oscar at 19 for his first big acting role. But his next role is even bigger. Mr. Butt, what's wrong with you? Why are you laughing so much? Mr. Butt, it is called A World Without Thieves. Have you heard of it?
A World Without Thieves. Yes,
Mr.
I
Butt.
told you about this movie.
Okay,
Do you know which movie?
Mr. Butt, I do not recall.
A train, a bunch of thieves.
Correct.
Do you recall? They trying to
No.
steal money from this innocent boy. Trains back then, a lot of thieves. They just be stealing people's stuff. There's two big groups of thieves on this train. And there's an innocent village boy.
Okay.
He worked his whole year to bring some cash home for his whole family to celebrate Chinese New Year. Two groups. One group really liked the boy because this boy is so innocent. His belief is there's no thief in the world. He believes in a perfect world. So one group of thieves decide to protect this boy's dream of there's no bad people in the world. And then the other group trying to steal his money. So this innocent boy just like going through the journey on this train. Meanwhile, these two groups of thieves are like literally trying to kill each other and going through some crazy tricks, trying to steal the money, return the money, steal the money, return the money. This whole train ride.
Wow.
So good. So good. One of the best movies.
Whoa. And then every next movie that Will did just started breaking records. It's like he had a hammer, and every couple of years, he would go on a rampage just demolishing box offices. Will was like every director's lucky charm. It's like a guarantee. If Will is in your project, it's going to make a shit ton of money. Some of his biggest roles were Never Say Never, Detective Chinatown, and Lost in Thailand.
Oh my
And
gosh.
eventually, Will opens up his own production agency, which is kind of the highlight of his career. He finally made all of his dreams come true, and he made his parents proud. His company is like a symbol of his career. But now the company is shut down because Mara accused Will of tax evasion, which, by the way, Will actually paid all of his taxes on time. In fact, at one point, he even took out a loan to make sure that he paid taxes. But that didn't matter because now the whole world is thinking Will is an abuser and a tax thief. This is probably the lowest point in Will's life. He lost half of his family in like a day. He lost all of his supporters. He lost all of his money. And if Will even wanted to open his phone to read the news, all he would see were just articles about his messy relationship. But the worst part were the fan theories. Remember how netizens thought Will's sons didn't look like Will? That his birth date, was a little suspicious. There was a conspiracy that Will's son was actually Song's biological son. Because Mara had been dating Song before she met Will. Mara is the reason Will even hired Song as his agent. Song wasn't even a fucking agent. He was an intern. Okay, this is insane because there were some rumors that Mara and Song were college sweethearts and that they were old flames or whatever, but none of that is true. Mara met Song when they were both working as interns at the Beijing news station, and I have no fucking clue what Mara sees in this guy. He's objectively not good looking. I don't know what Mara saw in him, and honestly, they didn't even date for that long. So I have no idea why Mara wanted to keep sharpening that pencil. I mean, Will is objectively a better catch. He's financially stable. He has a solid career. He's so sweet. He's so nice. And he doesn't look like he has a pigeon nesting on his head. Okay? I don't know what kind of espresso Song had that Mara so thirsty for. But after she meets Will, she's like, let me marry this man. Okay? Keep this one in the back room. You know what I mean? That's what she does. So for 10 years, they're porking whenever Will's not home. And it's almost like she doesn't even try to hide it. She posted Song on her Weibo all the time. She made one post with the caption, "My lover has always been good to me." And then she had the audacity to tag both her husband and her husband's agent.
Wow. She's like publicly. Wow.
I think they get off on humiliating Will. Like, you cannot be this Delulu right now. Every photo that Mara posts with Will, Song is always in the photo, and Mara would be leaning towards Song instead of Will.
Wow.
And you would think, okay, at least she only did this on her private Weibo page, right? It's not like she did the same thing at really public events. She did. Song was also married, okay? And the woman Song was married to, we need to put some respect on her name. Her name is Yuna. Put some respect, okay? Because she is about to single-handedly drag Will's name out of the mud. Let me tell you about Yuna, because we haven't talked about her in the story at all so far, but she's been here since day one. Okay, maybe not day one. Song met her after Will and Mara got married, which is a little sus. Some netizens theorize that Song was using Yuna as his cover to not be weird around Will. That's literally what Song was doing, is what netizens speculate, which is horrible to do to another person. But like, Song and Mara could not even hide it at Song's wedding. Okay, we don't have a photo evidence of this, but apparently a few people noticed that Mara and Song were cozying up to each other during Song's wedding ceremony to Yuna. And that's not even the worst part. Allegedly, Song and Mara wore matching outfits to the wedding.
Song and Mara?
Yeah, so... Okay, Yuna's wearing a white wedding dress.
Right.
Song is wearing this pastel baby blue suit, tuxedo. And Mara's dress is the exact shade of blue. It's not even it's not even baby blue, because I feel like baby blue is a common color. This is like very light pastel, almost satiny blue.
Wow. I mean, if they're getting off on these cryptic Weibo posts, yeah,
they're getting
they
off
totally
on this.
They're totally doing this.
And maybe it sounds like a little nitpicking, but it was suspicious enough for Song's new bride, Yuna, to pick up on it. She's an acting agent, but she was born to be a detective. She could immediately smell some bullshit. I mean, look at her in her wedding photo. This looks like the face of a woman who smells bullshit. And as soon as she gets back home, she's still in her wedding dress. She's doomsday prepping for divorce. She's snooping on Song's phone for years, like almost 10 years. She's collecting receipts. Every time Song falls asleep. Okay, for like years. Every time Song falls asleep, Yuna is opening his phone and texting herself screenshots. Every time he comes back from a business trip, she's digging through his pockets and keeping hotel receipts. Yuna even installs hidden CCTV cameras in her own home and catches Song and Mara in Yuna's own bed, porking it on live CCTV.
No freaking way.
Yeah. And Yuna was just going to use the receipts to divorce Song at first. But then she finds a text conversation where Song and Mara are talking about ruining Will's reputation. And at one point, Yuna realizes this is going to go a lot deeper than just a affair. Like, this is some serious shit. They're planning to take him for every penny he's worth. This part is so weird, but Mara really wants to catch Will cheating on her, and she was literally hoping that her husband was cheating on her so that she could catch him in the act and expose him online to ruin his career. Mara and Song, they spent years literally plotting to steal Will's money and ditch him. This was their endgame. But Will never did anything wrong. He genuinely was an unproblematic king. Mara even installed CCTV cameras in Will's home without him knowing, and Song was the one monitoring the cameras. Every few weeks, Mara would text him, "Did you get anything?" And he would just reply, "Nothing much. Just got his mom and sister taking a bath." Which is so incredibly inappropriate, but also pretty sure that's really illegal. Eventually, they come up with the idea that if Will isn't going to bring women home, they're going to bring the woman to Will. Mara starts hiring paid actresses to try and seduce Will on his sets.
Oh my god, this woman is crazy.
But he literally only has eyes for Mara.
Oh my god, this is crazy.
So Mara allegedly got so desperate that she bought voodoo dolls. Voodoo dolls. I don't know what she's doing with the voodoo dolls, but all of this is happening. Mara is slowly transferring all of Will's assets to her own name. She would transfer cash, properties. Somehow she got Will to sign over 90% of the ownership of his production company to her, which is insane. And Mara is planning on bleeding Will dry. She and Song are getting ready to sell Will's company, basically his life's work, so that they can turn a profit. The plan was as soon as they sold the company and bled him dry, they're going to throw him out like a used tampon. And they almost got away with it. They're about to sell Will's company when Yuna shows up, bonks them with receipts, and she bonks Song with divorce papers. Yuna was just waiting for the perfect moment to spill the receipts, and now is the right moment. This is so iconic. Yuna leaks all of these receipts to a huge Chinese tabloid so the whole country can see Mara clowning herself in a hotel room with Song. The Chinese tabloid posts a video of Mara and Song in the hotel room. There's literally a photo of Mara completely naked, tits about to fall out. The only thing holding it together is a bath towel. Daddy don't know. Mommy's getting some in a hotel room right now. This is the photo that ends up just killing Mara's career and puts Song behind bars. Yuna has evidence that Song stole $50,000 from Will, which is embezzlement, because Will was Song's boss. So Song gets sent to prison for 4 years. I believe he was just released last year. But unfortunately, we're not done, because Mara still has some clowning to do. First of all, she's clowning herself because she was on Song's side the whole time. She was going on about how Will was abusive, how she loves Song, and how he was so good to her and the kids. But the moment she hears Song got the orange treatment, going to jail, Mara comes up with a whole new backstory. She's like reworking it in real time. And now she's saying that she's been a victim this whole time of Song. Song has been forcing her to be in a relationship with him and manipulating her into stealing Will's money. She loses all of her credibility. I mean, there's mountains of evidence against her, but she's still gonna clown herself. So let me tell you how she ends up in the hospital. The piggyback ride of hell. Here's what really happened. And we know this because Will has CCTV cameras installed in front of the house. They're filming the entrance of the house. One day, we see Miss Mara pop up wearing this big hoodie pulled over her head. Her face is covered with a mask. She walks up to the CCTV camera, which is mounted on the entrance door, and deadass on live footage, Mara's trying to reach up to the CCTV camera and knock it over. She's hopping like a hard-struck Mario. You can't make this up. She never reaches the camera, but instead a pair of scissors falls out of her purse. Bro. I don't know what kind of Wattpad level of quirky clumsy that is, but I love that this was caught on CCTV. Mara rushes over to pick up the scissors, and when she runs inside Will's house, now, we don't exactly know what happens, but Will's mom said that she was inside the house, minding her own business, when crazy Mara runs in, waving around a pair of scissors and screaming. Will's poor mom almost faints because what the fuck is happening? Will rushes to protect his mom. He doesn't physically even touch Mara, but he does threaten to call the cops and get her kicked out if she doesn't calm the fork down. And then Mara just flops over like a dead fish, pretends to faint.
What?
Will keeps asking her to leave, but she's pretending not to hear him. Like, hello? Will can't just grab her and throw her out the house. Like, that would make the situation so much worse. But he also can't just leave her roasting on his bedroom floor like roadkill on a hot Georgia day. So he calls the cops. The cops get there, and Mara still won't budge for 7 hours. Just playing dead on the bedroom floor. What is Bessie doing for 7 hours? Like, what is she doing right now? She was literally posting pictures from Will's bedroom floor. This is what the police body cam footage looks like. It's just 3 cops standing around the room looking bored as fuck, and Mara's lying on the floor in the most dramatic position. I swear I see her fucking texting on her phone or some shit. Shut the fuck up right now. The cop has his hands held behind his back like, you can't pay me enough to get involved right now. Like, I'm just gonna stand here. It said that she eventually got bored of just laying there and then called an ambulance for herself.
Oh my god.
And at the hospital, she was giving the performance of her life, talking about how she just wanted to see her kids. Will beat her, held her hostage. And this became such a meme, this picture, that people were dressing up as injured Mara for Halloween. It was pretty bad. Yeah. That's why Mara was piggybacked out of the hospital, because someone told her that Will posted CCTV footage from inside the house, so she needs to stop clowning herself. Yeah, she's got that red shirt over her face because she was trying to hide the shame. By the way, I know we're laughing, but it's like not funny at all. It's more like how do these people exist? This is so scary. Genuinely, this cannot be real right now. It's kind of alarming that she is a real person. This is genuinely very serious. What Mara did is straight up psychopathic behavior. And it also makes other women look not serious when they have accusations like this. Will's mom was so stressed because of what happened that she got heart palpitations and ended up in the hospital. And that's when she found out she had cancer.
Oh my gosh.
She actually passed away 6 months later. Some people said it was a lot of the stress. So yeah, people fucking hate Mara's guts, and for good reason. Mara and Will finalized their divorce a couple months later. Will got custody of their son, and Mara kept custody of the daughter, which a lot of netizens did not like. Mara also got off pretty easy. She got $7 million in assets, plus Will's property in LA. Probably because he knew what was going on in there and he didn't want to be involved. And like, that tells me a lot. He's still so wholesome. The most embarrassing thing is that Mara tried to get famous after this. She tried to be a live streamer. Yeah, a few years ago when Chinese live streaming was popping, Mara tried to be a live streamer. She only made it a few minutes into the live stream before the comments were flooded with stuff like, silence is golden, netizens are already tired of hating you, disappearing from the internet is your best choice, Song wouldn't want you. No man in this world would want you. Yeah. But she's been real quiet ever since then. And it's said that she never remarried. Some people speculate that men are too scared to marry her. Some netizens are saying Will Smith should call her. I don't know what that means.
Will Smith should call her?
Yeah. Well, some netizens said it's because Will Smith and Will from China are the king of the cucks. They would post Chinese Will's photo next to a hotel cuck chair. You know what a hotel cuck chair is?
No.
Like in a hotel, why is there always one armchair facing the bed? Like a lounge chair, and it's never facing the window. It's always facing the bed.
Oh my God.
That's where the cuck be sitting. And they be watching. But it's okay because Will is out here thriving. I think both Wills are. I don't know. Okay, he's in a new relationship now with Fang Qing. She's a business baddie who runs her own 8-figure company, and she's gorgeous. She was the first runner-up in the Miss World pageant. Apparently, they've been going strong for 4 years, which is so cute. Will's career recovered too. One of his most recent movies, Never Say Never, is a movie that he directed and starred in and won like 4 awards. Best Film, Actor of the Year, Most Promising Director, Filmmaker of the Year. So yeah, Will is eating right now, and Mara wishes she was still relevant. And that is the story of how a famous Chinese actor almost lost everything because his wife, she wanted her D and she wanted to ride it too.
Okay, so this is why she's like probably one of the most hated women.
Like the Carla Panini of China?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like if you really think about it, it's not only like she cheated, but this whole thing is plotted from the beginning. Like she was already kind of dating this other dude, saw Will, and then she's instantly like, let me just marry this guy that I don't even like, and I'm gonna spend years to drain
his funds.
Drain his money, and then eventually just get out of here, walk away.
So it's not even like she fell in love and then was a despicable person and had an
plotted
affair.
this for 10 years. She did this whole thing for 10 years. Like, imagine the trauma of that. Like, the wife did that.
Your whole life is a lie.
Exactly. Like, everything was not real. Yeah. It's crazy.
So, I mean, it makes sense that I was up till 1 a.m., no? Because that was crazy.
That's crazy, yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? Please leave it in the comments. And again, we're not laughing because domestic violence accusations are funny. Okay, please. We're literally laughing because how is this person real? Like, she cannot be real.
Yeah.
There's no way this is real behavior. Please let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts? And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.